Hello. Whoop, wrong camera. Hello, how's it going? I am Matt with Foul Ball Productions. This is episode 4 of my coverage of the entire series and run of the Expanse television show. How are you? Thanks for joining. I hope you're ready for some more fun Expanse talk because Lord knows I am. Before we get into that, look at this. Keyed out my lime. I thought that was funny. Before we get started, if you like what I do, please like the video. Please subscribe to my channel. Comment, share with your friends. The whole thing. It really, really helps. I know we hear it from every creator that we tune into, and it can get kind of annoying. And I understand that. I feel the same way, but it really is the only way any of us can grow. So if you do genuinely like what I do, please like, subscribe, because it means a lot, and it helps, and it'll help me do more. And I'm up to 12, count them, 12 subscribers. So I say by the end of this night, let's get that number up to 13. What do you say, folks? What do you say? Alrighty. I say we get into it. Let's get into Season 1, Episode 4, entitled CQB, which I believe stands for Close Quarter Battle. My buddy just called me.
Well, I can't talk now, Chief. I'm streaming. Jeez Louise, heavens to Betsy.
Should I just take a call in the middle that you can hear half of? That would be fun, right? You'd pay to see that. Yes, CQB means Close Quarter Battle. And this, to me, is the episode that solidified my interest in the show, and I think this is when the show really starts. So we begin here at Ceres Station, just like the background. Boop, background. Oh, sorry. Oh, Jiminy. Oh, cripes. I clicked on the wrong thing. Oh, heavens. I don't know what I'm doing. It's all over the place. It's crazy talk. Crazy talk. Okay, there we go. Everything is set. So we're in Ceres. Yes. And Miller investigating the Julie Mao case, even though he's not supposed to any longer. He is got the stiff in the morgue, the guy Busy Patenko. He doesn't know he's Busy Patenko, but he knows that he looks like the guy. He is the guy from Julie's dating app that was probably somehow involved with the OPA. And probably involved with her disappearance and the fact that she's on the ship and so on and so forth. So he is investigating it, and it's pretty cool. It's a fun little misdirect. It's a fun little what's the word? Not red herring, but false lead for him. He kind of goes in the wrong direction, finds this guy Busy Patenko, and then we eventually end up at those guys that apartment where they do the where they bet on those racers, where I forgot what they're doing, but they're hitting super amounts of G, trying to skim off the planets, but sometimes they fall into the planets and die.
That's funny.
Anywho, so that's interesting. So he's going down that path, and now we're back on the Donnager. What's his name? Holden is trying to negotiate with the captain of the ship, the admiral of the ship, for their release. And she's trying to convince him, hey, idiot, please don't tell the solar system that we killed your ship because it's going to start an international war. Then the rest of our folk are concerned that Holden's maybe working out a deal for himself because they don't know yet. They're not a crew yet. They're not a team. They're just 5 people stuck into a situation that's they just got thrust into outside of their control. It just kind of happened, which is pretty interesting. And that's why I think this show really gets started in this episode. I think this is the episode that, this is the kickoff. This is really chapter 1. Everything that came before it is prologue, in my humble opinion. So now they got that ship burning behind them real fast. They don't know what ship. They don't know who it is. They think it's the Belt coming to get Naomi, or at least that's what the Martians think. But yeah, here they go. And the ship, this is a really cool sequence. So now the ship comes out. This is such a great episode. This is such a badass episode. There's so much cool military stuff in this episode. And this is I think this is the first time we see any kind of real combat. You see some stuff, some gunplay with Miller. Oh yeah. So now you've got these stealth ships, and there's four of them. Yeah, five of them that just come out of this like real hard burn, and now they're blasting towards the Donnager. Six ships, and they just unload. Oh man, they just throw out like mad torpedoes at the Donnager. And I love the weapons in this show all across the board. The onboard weapons on the ships down to the guns that they carry. I love the idea of like those like torpedoes, like nuclear torpedoes. Like that's such a cool concept, and they look so cool when they blast off and they have that little blue flame on the back. And that's probably what would be used in the future. And then you got the miniguns, the PDCs, point defense cannons. Those are badass too. And so so now those torpedoes come blasting, and Donnager fires back, and the future crew of the Rocinante, they strap the fuck in because shit's about to get real. Oh, this is so badass. Yes. This is a really great episode. This is like naval battle, but in space with nuclear torpedoes. Man, what else could you ask for, dude? This is good shit.
This is that good, yo. That good.
Interesting with this show is how like in the first season, every episode has like a different intro, like not different, but like varying. Like sometimes it's a long, like a full intro. Sometimes it's just like a quick clip. I wonder what that was about. Might have been about length. Anyway, so Avasarala is talking to one of the guys in Earth's Navy about hostages, but I'm not sure what they're talking about. Oh, because I haven't seen this episode in a while, so I just kind of popped it on. But I guess she's trying to figure out something.
Avasarala is working on something. It's unclear what, but she's doing it. It's happening.
Fascinating, Matt. So here we are back in space, and the torpedo war, the torpedo exchange is on. So they're going to activate their PDCs, Mars is, and going to try to stop all the incoming torpedoes so that they don't fucking die there. And they're going to try to wipe out all these stealth ships. And it's so cool because we don't know who the fuck these stealth ship guys are. Like, they're not Mars. They're not Earth. Who are they? It's pretty cool. It's a great mystery. This first season is such a great mystery on so many levels. She's a good character. The one who plays the Admiral, Captain Yao, who runs the Donnager. She's a pretty badass character. I like her. I like her a lot. I think a lot of the admirals, like most of them, I love the military, like adherence in this show. Like it really does feel like when you're on these ships, it does feel like a military vessel. There's like a distinct difference, and a lot of kind of just like clock punching soldiers. Not everyone's just like an autonomous kind of mass. They're individuals. I like that. It's pretty cool. Here's a bit of foreshadowing. So Avasarala and her grandkid are looking up at the sky, and she's all worried, and the kid doesn't know why. And the meteorites are like flying in overhead, and the kid's like, "Hey, don't worry about it. You don't need to be nervous about this. They're just little rocks. They won't hurt us." And she goes, and basically the point is they're foreshadowing at the end of this season, or the end of, when Eros starts hurtling at Earth, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm not concerned about the rocks. I'm concerned about the people who throw them." And the kid's like, "No one can throw rocks that big."
Well, little youngin', little do you know, someone can, and that someone is the proto-molecule
and Julie Mao. Spoiler alert! But like I said, look, if you have not watched The Expanse and you're watching me, I mean, thank you, but I'm gonna spoil the shit out of everything. I'm not holding back. So just because I want to talk about it, and the show's been out for a while, so I appreciate you watching, but I am going to talk about everything that goes on and everything that has gone on. I will not mention anything in the book, so anything that's outside the show, I won't mention. Has to be on the show.
Anyhoozle,
Yeah, now Lopez, the guy, is giving Holden shit for like having grown up on Earth and taking it for granted and pissing it away. And it just kind of further illustrates the division in the solar system, how all these different like planets and what's it called, like societies are just how different they view each other. You know, everyone kind of looks at Earth as like they're the takers, like they just live on basic. You know, they're lazy and selfish and entitled. Mars is the military, you know, the strict discipline, all for one goal, and then Belters are just kind of like this wild card group. I love it. I think it's so well conceived.
So brilliant. So genius.
Earth is over, Mr. Holden. So, they're in battle. And it's getting real. It's getting pretty real, which I dig. All right, here we go. This is awesome. God, I love this. I love when the PDCs go. Oh, it looks so cool. It looks so cool. Just giant miniguns blowing up nuclear torpedoes in space. I mean, come on. What's not to like? This is when I fell in love with this episode. With this show. Was this episode. I know I mentioned that, but it's true. Yeah, so they're having a little bit of trouble now with getting these torpedoes. They're getting kind of hit because the Torp's guidance system is really good because it's coming from that private fleet of stealth ships because it's mad real. Oh, now she's going to the railgun. Oh, this is so cool. There's just so much activity. Like all these torpedoes are coming, the PDCs are going, and she's like, let's blast them with the railgun. Now we're back on series, and some guy's doing a graffiti of "Remember the Can't." James Holden. Miller comes in, flashing his badge, flashing his gun, laying down the law. And there's Holden. Remember the can't. Whoops. Don't think that's what he intended to start, was the revolution. All right. So, yeah, so here they are. Busy Patico. Not Busy Patanko. Busy Patico. Why you pensa? Why you pensa? Why you pensa? I love that language. So Miller is investigating the Julie and comes into, what are they? Oh, I forget what they call these guys. They have a name. They're betting on something. What is it called? What is it called? Oh, I wish I could remember. Yeah, it's so cool. So yeah, they're like the what's it called? Like speed junkies. Yeah, they're kind of using the gravity well of each planet to kind of rocket the speed, and they're like betting on it. It's like an illegal sport. I think that's one more just very well conceived detail. Slingshot Club. That's what it's called. Slingshot Club. And the big guy goes, "Hey, for entertainment only. We're not betting." And he goes, no, I'm not here for that. He's like, "Oh, you want to place a bet?" Just immediately just drops his cover. Investigating Julie. Oh, Miller, you're such a sweetie pie. And then it turns out that Busy Patico is not dead. Busy Patico is in a slingshot, and he's rocketing out in space, out Saturn, but then he does, in fact, die. And Miller, the plot thickens for Miller. The story, now he did. Yeah. Now he did. The story gets a little thicker. Now I believe this is the first time we have got to see the Nauvoo and Tycho Station. This is so cool. So Fred Johnson is talking to the Mormon guy, and they're on that like big like work girder, and they're just like shooting along on like a little pod, having this great conversation. And then like he's telling them that, Fred Johnson, we don't want you in charge anymore. The investors don't want you in charge anymore. And he just like stops the elevator, just like hanging out in space. I thought this whole plot was really interesting. I liked the character of Fred Johnson. I like that he is very what's the word, like, principled. You know, he realized he was on the wrong side, and the Belters really were being oppressed, and he'd been the boot, and he didn't like it. But I also like that he kind of misplays things sometimes and has like a political play. It's well written in the book. I think it's the end of the first book where he kind of describes. He has this like inner monologue of wanting to not do the political thing when it comes to like addressing people on behalf of the belt, and wants to just go like, you know, truthful and honest. But then he ultimately just does the political thing because that's kind of his character. Is like he understands politics and he needs to establish the OPA as a sovereign nation, and the sovereign nation needs to play by the rules because that's how it goes. If you want to be recognized, you got to play along, and it's interesting. You know, I like that. I like that motivation in the character. I like the conflict, but ultimately the noble pursuit. And I like that him and Avasarala are kind of similar in that regard. They both have nobility. Avasarala is a little more cutthroat, but he's, you know, just as he'll do what he's got to do. But I like that they both have that virtue. But they're on opposite sides, completely opposite sides of the conflict, which I think is great writing, very clever. The special effects on this show, I think, are amazing. I think they look so good, especially for a TV show where they have to do this for, you know, an hour for every single episode. I mean, I think it looks so good. The sets look so good. It's such a convincing portrayal. It never feels fake or stupid. And even if, I guess, some of the effects maybe didn't age incredibly well, I can't believe Sci-Fi made this show. I have never seen anything on Sci-Fi that I was like, that was amazing, love it. Not once. And I think if someone told me about this and I knew it was on Sci-Fi Channel, I'd be like, yeah, no thank you. But it's so good. Okay, here we are back in space. Oh, dude. Oh, cool. The Donnager's blasting the railgun at the stealth ships, but then the stealth ships got railgun fire too. So they're just getting torn to pieces now. It's like a war, close quarter battle. Oh, here we go. This is the scene. So this is the scene that I mentioned last episode that I wanted to highlight. That little brutal. So the crew, our heroes, except for Holden, are trapped in that one little room, and they're just they're just waiting it out. They're sat like they're strapped in, just hoping they survive this close quarter battle, and then this happens. Oh boy. Oh, so we're back on the bridge, and Holden points out that he knows the ship, that it's the ship that blew up the camp, which is pretty cool. They are tearing the shit out of these ships, but there's 6 of them. So badass. Oh god, so cool. If you do yourself a favor and watch this if you haven't seen it in a while. It just rules. So the Donnager lost power, drives out. Now they lose gravity, and oh man, here we go. I like this. Oh god. Okay. So Alex is freaking out, and Shed's got like a little painkiller or something like that, and he's like, "Hey, it's all good. Don't you worry, buddy. I got you covered. Everything's gonna be okay." So he throws him the thing, and Alex catches it, just misses, and a hole comes into their compartment, and Shed's head is gone. Uh-oh. So I guess railgun fire or a PDC round ripped through the hole and took Shed's head right the fuck off. And this is such a cool effect because it opens up into, like, you know, there's no gravity, so it just opens up into the next wall or the next room. I think maybe it might be outside, and the blood from his body is just coming up and out. Great effect. So what I wanted to say is I learned this about, so when this concept, this world was before it was a novel, it was a tabletop role-playing game. Before that, it was supposed to be like a World of Warcraft type game, like a science fiction World of Warcraft. But unless you have like Blizzard's resources, that's fucking insane undertaking. So then they went the next route and did it as a tabletop game, and the person who was playing Shed, had to leave the game, and they couldn't play any longer. So this is how they got rid of him. Killed him in the ship. And then they kept it in the novel and then kept it in the show. How fucking cool is that? I love that kind of stuff because I've played tabletop a bunch. And it is so much fun. I mean, the stories you are like living inside of the story. It's so much fun. And for them to like have had that moment, which probably was a lot for all the other players, then to carry it into the book and then to carry it and immortalize it on TV like that. So cool. Just such a creative endeavor, you know? That's why I think that's the reason why this show works so well is the guys who create it, they love it tremendously. And you can tell, you can feel it. They've kept this story going. They've kept this whole thing alive. It's grown with them. It's brilliant. Oh, it's just alive inside of them. There's no reason they do this other than that they love the story. And that's what we need more of that. Long live the Expanse. Okay, so so now the Donnager's getting torn the F up because these stealth ships are really getting into it, starting to light them up. PDC rounds are ripping through. Holden proves his worth by, instead of going for the gun on the fallen Marine, he goes to see if he's okay, even though absolutely no one else helps him. But let's just say, Lopez helps him. Lopez is a good guy. He's got a good heart, that fella. And now these little like landing craft burst out from the stealth ships. This shit is so fucking cool. These like little like pods, and they slam on, doom, 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 and they create like a breach so that like the boarding Marines can like get on. Ooh, so badass! Like I was like, it was so much the first time I saw this. It was just so much like coming at you. You got like rail guns and torpedoes and space marines and close quarter battle. Like, what the fuck? Like, this is the episode that got me. Like, this is the one that hooked me where I was sure I fucking loved it. And I remember the exact moment, and it's at the end when the Tachi, soon to be known as Rossi, is breaking out of the ship bay, and it's just all those PDCs are just going and wiping out everybody. I was like, oh, what? This is so cool. So that was the moment. I was like, oh, it's just so badass. I love that. I also what's interesting about this show, I keep pointing it out, but you are just, as a viewer, you're very off balance. Like, Mars, okay, they didn't blow up the camp, but they're still kind of dicks, and they kept everyone captured, but you don't know their motivations, and so we don't really know who to follow yet. We're starting to feel this connection, like Holden wants to save the crew, right? His people, and we've watched them for several episodes, so we're connecting with them. Even though they're kind of fighting with each other, they're not quite a crew yet. You're starting to connect with them, but I still like that. Yeah, just as a viewer, as an audience member, you're just sort of off balance on like what's really good, what's really like going on, like who's good, who's bad. I dig that. Who am I supposed to root for? Who's on the right side? It doesn't really get into it for a while. I think that's bold choice, but works. Alex really grew on me. I didn't like Cass Anvar for a while, but then he really did start to grow on me, and I like him now. Allegations aside, I have no idea what's going on with that. I don't know. I just have to look the other way on it until something, concrete comes out. And I don't even really want to bring it up. I don't even want to address it. I don't really want to talk about it. I'm not going to. Something concrete comes out in the future, I guess I'll deal with it then. I don't know. Right now, I just want to watch The Expanse, enjoy The Expanse for what it is, and not get into anything more than that. So that's the last time I'm going to bring that up. So now our crew is this is a really cool. This is just so cool. I love the idea. It's like them like the stealth ships like breaching the Donnager is kind of reminiscent of like old Navy, like pirates. You know what I mean? Like Master and Commander, where like you're battling, boom, boom, like shooting cannons at each other, and then you swing on to the other boat and engage with swordplay. It's kind of like that. I mean, they like launch onto the ship, breach there, with shooting at each other, trying to take the ship. I mean, it just works in so many levels, man. I love that they're trying to. Why are they trying to take the Donnager? Maybe they're just trying. I don't know why they wouldn't just blow it up. Why would they try to take the Donnager and not blow it up? I don't know. But anyway, the Martian Marines are now escorting Holden. I guess they want to get him off so that he clears the names of Mars and proves to them, proves to the solar system that they didn't blow up the Kent, and they need to not be blamed because we don't want a war. Man, the Martian Marines look badass. Those helmets look so fucking cool, man. With a little red backlight and those great rifles, all bullpup and stuff. I read that I guess a lot of the rounds that they use are plastic so that they never breach the hull, which I was like, that makes perfect sense. And then here we go. Here's like the stealth ship guys. They're on the ship. Now they're engaging with them. Oh man. Oh, it looks so cool. Like all the rifles, it's like the arm, it's like everything on this show. It's exactly what I like. The aesthetics totally connect with me. The costumes work, the ships work, the show, it's just the best show. Oh my God, I love The Expanse. And when people I know like watch it and don't love it, I'm like, why? What don't you love about it? It's perfect. Oh, it's so cool. I mean, even their helmets, even with like this little flare in the back, they almost kind of look like Centurions. They almost kind of have like a Roman like sort of like helmet like that. Like I love it. I love all those little details. So back on series. Miller's got who he thinks is Busy Patico, but it ain't. It's some guy, and then the girl cop, whose name I always forget, who I think is fucking hot. I think she's Greek. She is sexy. She figures out that he has a memory crypt. He's got he's got an ID spoofer mod, so then he can like be mistakenly identified by the computers and stuff like that. I like that too. I like that there's like it's a cyberpunk crime disruptor for the for the criminals. I love stuff like that. I love gritty future shit. Like there's that show Altered Carbon, which is fine, and the visuals are really good. They fucked up the story and invented all these things and added stuff that was not in the book and doesn't serve the story and makes it really whack. But in the book is awesome. If you like science fiction, if you like cyberpunk, gritty stuff like that, the first Altered Carbon book is amazing. I hear the other ones are good. I've just never read them, so I can't. I'm not saying that they're not good. I just don't know. But the first one is excellent. Such a badass read and so dark and gritty, but like punk and cool. Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. So I always like that kind of shit. I always like gritty future. I mean, it's because that takes, I think, a lot of creative power, a lot of creative thought and foresight and consideration of your world, because that's going to be, it's not going to be Star Trek. It's not going to be a perfect world where there's no crime and there's no racism. It's going to be, it's going to be the humanity, like humanity is now, and they've just like extrapolated into the future with lots of technology. It's like I think that's such a crisp look into the future. So man, she is really cute. So Miller's pulling out that memory crypt and figuring out who this guy actually is. Oh, right. So this is all the mystery part of it. It's not really like that exciting for me to recap each moment. Like, well, then he's looking at his thing and then he figures out okay, so we get it. But it's like this is the detective stuff, which is fun to watch. Not that great to hear me talk about, but this is when he figures out the automated animal thing. Those like fake, robot animal things. He like goes and tracks it down at looking for a Sherpa, and then sees like the robot, and then goes back to Julie's apartment and finds the chip or whatever, the encrypted card in the little hamster, in the fake rodent hamster. So, yeah, I don't really have to cover each one of these moments because it's not exactly fascinating. Oh, yes, and now this woman finds Havelock. How did he get off the wall? Huh. So she sees Havelock on the ground, and she starts rolling him, starts taking off, like taking his money or whatever. And then he comes to life, or he gasps. I like, see, that's great. Even that little, this show does not waste its guest stars. It doesn't even waste its co-stars. Like every little role matters. That woman, so she's rolling the guy, and, you know, she's like taking money from like a dead guy, you know, she's poor, whatever. And then when she sees he's alive, oh shit, she runs and gets help. Like, that's great character. You know, she's not like that little two-lined actor, that two-line role has complexity and nuance. Like, it's like, you know, she needs to take for survival, but she's not a monster. She's like, that's, god damn it, this show does things well. You know, a lot of shows would do it differently. You know, like, oh, you're stealing, you're bad all around. Like, it's like, no, this show deals in nuance. It deals in gray. I get him? I got him. Ha ha ha. Fruit fly. This is cool. So we have the blue guys, the we don't knows from the stealth ship, and they got cool armor. Where if they have like a wounded limb or something like that, it when it cuts it, when it, like, if they lose an arm, it like seals it. It's like pretty cool. And now they also have like the like encoded guns. Yeah, Holden tries to, yeah, it's so cool. Holden tries to shoot the guy with his gun, but it doesn't work. It's like the Judge Dredd guns. It's like it doesn't work if you're not like coded to the gun, which is cool. Always like that. Probably something that'll happen in the future. Although they say a lot of times, like I've watched like documentaries on like future weapons. Like they have like these rifles that like shoot around corners and all that stuff. They say like with all those like electronic parts, all those things, it's just lots of stuff to break. You know, it's just things that can break in the field. So they tend to go simple as they can, as stripped down as they can. I mean, maybe in the future when technology is so much more refined, they would do stuff like that. But usually, so far, all that future weapon shit's kind of not. They don't really do it for the grunts. So now they got the blue guy and they're interrogating him, and he ain't playing along. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder if that was designed to be foreshadowing. Excuse me. So, giant spoiler here. So, what's his name? Mao. Jules Pierre Mao was, doing all that research on the proto-molecule, trying to figure it out, where it came from, what it does, making the super soldiers, so on and so forth. And then this is Jules Pierre Mao's ship and like crew, and like this is like his private navy. And they all have blue, and the proto-molecule's blue. I wonder if that was like supposed to be a clue for us, to kind of connect the dots a little bit, just a little trail of breadcrumbs. I don't know. Never really thought about it till right now. Could have just been a cool color choice that the bad, Mars is red and the bad guys are blue, just to make it look different. But maybe not. Maybe it works on multiple levels, or maybe I'm reading into it and there's nothing there. Who knows? I don't know. I need the showrunners to tell me. God, the Martians look so badass. They are so cool. So Holden's rescuing his buddies, rescuing his pals, and putting on the spacesuits so that they don't die. And they got to get the fuck off this ship. They got to get off the Donnager. God, I love it. Oh, this is the best part. The end is so cool.
So gangster. Gangster indeed is what I say. I say it's gangster. Gangster.
Oh, okay. So now this is where the guy gives him a little bit of information about Phoebe. Oh. Diana Bentley, Sergeant Grimes. You are cute, huh? So there's a little overlay from Amazon. No, just moved it. And I was like, oh, she's pretty.
She's attractive.
Sergeant Bentley. You don't even really see her face, which is it's a pretty good feature of hers. Anyway, he's explaining Phoebe. Or explaining kind of like, it's a research station. We don't know what's going on there. Something happened. It went dark. Da-da-da-da-da. The plot thickens. The mystery thickens. We do end up there eventually. In a really cool sequence. God, that is such a cool sequence. I gotta focus on this show. Focus on this particular episode. Yeah, the Donnager is fooked. Fooked. So this just, they're getting boarded. Their hull's compromised. All they're trying to do is just get Holden off the ship to save Mars, and then they're just gonna scuttle the ship. They're just gonna blow it up because there's no escape. There's no way off, and they're gonna blow the whole Donnager up, which is a flagship of the Martian Navy, which is like, you know, their tech is supposed to be exceptional. So it's crazy that this could happen. Oh, this is so badass. Okay, so now they've got the Tachi, which will be the Rocinante in the future. There's a long gangway between where they are and getting into the Tachi. They open the door, but they're being watched by all the blue guys. You can see them up in the rafters. This is so cool. So, what was that? Sorry. Anyway, so you can see them up in the rafters, and yep, and then they go and they all start getting fired at. Lopez and the other Martian Marines are blasting at the rafters at whoever's shooting them. They're getting lit up, explosions, gunfire everywhere, and then they lose gravity. Oh no, somebody gets shot. I think, yeah, it's Amos gets shot, right? Why am I always the one who gets shot? So I think he gets popped. Is it? Anyway, then him and Alex keep going, and they make it to the Tachi. Yay, Jesus. Ice Maker really making their presence known. Then the next, right? They don't lose gravity yet. So the next one is Naomi and Holden, and they're going. And he fired a grenade. Oh man, I forgot about that. One of the blue guys just fired a grenade at the other Martian Marine, and then they lose power. And as they're on the gangway, they lose gravity. So now they're just floating away. And Holden, very quick thinking, clicks Naomi. Kicks her away very cleverly using the laws of physics, equal and opposite reaction, knowing it'll blast him and blast them in opposite directions. Physics is a thing. Then he yanks, and oh god, they're just getting lit up. There's just like gunfire all over. He yanks Naomi down and mag boots, and then they just make a break for it. Oh, and the other Martian Marine gets lit the fuck up, man. They really gave their lives for these guys to get there. Oh, and he goes down. That's 3 Marines, and Lopez makes it. Where's Lopez? There he goes. Okay, so he makes it. Lopez makes it. And now they're on the Tachi. Now, this was the sequence where I was like, oh, I fucking love this show. Not quite, but like the ending, like the way they leave. Oh, yeah. I love the medical tech in this show too. I love that kind of like flesh wounds are pretty much guaranteed you're going to be okay. You just got to sit down in this chair for a few hours and everything is fixed. It's like a healing potion. They never really explain like what it's doing or how it's doing it. It just magically fixes you, which is really fun. Oh, yeah, and so now he needs Alex to fly, even though Alex is, like, on a heavy tranquilizer. Lopez gives all the power to the Tachi for everyone to be able to use it. I love the way they float. Apparently, they just use, like, lots of wires. It's all wire harnesses to create the look of the floating, the low gravity, or no gravity. It really works. It really looks like... I believe that they're, I never think about it. And I'm never like, oh, that's a wire. It always feels real. It always feels like they're in 0G, which is really cool. Commercial. Okay, here they are. So they're getting rid of the gangway. And they're trying to take off, but the door's shut. And then there's all the blue Marines are just lighting this thing up. They're just lighting up the Tachi. And this is the shit. Yes, Alex activates the PDCs and just lights these motherfuckers up. Dude! Yes, this was exactly the moment. It's just floating through this hangar with like 4 or 5 miniguns just blasting away. Oh, did I just smudge the camera? I think I did. I did just smudge it. I smooched it. Now we're almost done. Where's my... I have a wiper. I'm sorry. All right, sorry if you had to see my belly there. Apologies. Does it look better? Yes, it looks all pretty. So Lopez is dying. Sorry, Lopez. God, I have so many needs. And the Tachi takes off, soon to be known as the Rocinante. Oh, man, and then the Blue Marines are right outside the door. And Captain Yao's like, I didn't think we could lose. And they're going to scuttle the ship. Oh, man, it's so cool. Boom! Huge explosion. There goes the Donnager. There goes the stealth ship. And they're just the survivors of 2 wrecks. Man. Intense stuff. Very intense stuff. So, yeah, our heroes get away. God, I love the Rocinante. I love the Rocinante. I think it looks so cool. So cute, dude. So cute. And that's it, man. That's episode 4. That is the conclusion, the stunning conclusion of that episode. That episode rules. To me, that is the first, that's the one, like, it was super badass. Like, there's so much cool stuff happening on it. But that's the episode, to me, that, like, really starts the show. I tell everyone to watch it. Everyone I tell to watch it, I say, just give it till episode 4. If you're not in episode 4, okay, I don't know what to tell you. You should stick with it anyway, because it's the best show on TV. But, yeah, if you don't like this episode, you're probably not going to like the show. Because, like, this has got all the cool stuff. It's got the, close quarter gun battles with futuristic space rifles. It's got torpedoes being fired at each other. It's got the Tachi leaving on a, hail of minigun fire. I mean, what's not to like about, like it's, and I mean, it's the peak, it's the action. And there's something about this, something they do in this show really well, is they really pick their moments and with their action, with their action sequences. Cause a lot of shows, not a lot of shows, but some shows, it just gets redundant, even though I like The Witcher, I thought okay, we have to have the obligatory action sequence in this episode. And you're kind of like, all right. Like it loses its punch after a while. Whereas the Expanse never does anything like that. They do not abuse their action sequences. They don't lean on it. It's not just something that they utilize for, just for the fuck of it. It all matters. It all deeply comes out of story. It all has a reason, all has a purpose, and they're all very well conceived. Tense. It's like you never really know what's going to happen. I mean, when they killed Shed, you didn't think Shed was going to die that quickly. Especially because he'd been through so much, and he's just gone. Shed's gone. You're like, whoa, fuck, Shed's gone. Yeah, so you never really know who's going to die and who's going to come out of it alive, and it's a show. It's a brilliant show. Yeah. Well, that's going to do it. That's episode 4. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Matt. This has been Matt Show's Expanse coverage recap show. I don't have a title. But that's episode 4. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. If it's something you liked, would you be so kind as to please like the video? Please comment, share, subscribe if you would like that. We're going to get to 20 subscribers soon. We are on our way up. We are doing it together. Thank you very much for supporting me. It means a lot. I hope you enjoyed the broadcast. If you didn't, feel free to let me know. I'm always trying to improve. So thanks for watching and have a wonderful night. Toodaloo. Belta